and somebody else offered him more money and they rented out from under him. So he told me I could either go to Mumfordville or to Cave City, either one of them preferred, and he'd give me a job at either place. But he didn't have a building here. So I told him, no, I didn't want to go to drive this somewhere else. I wanted to be here where I take care of Peggy and be close to, you know, come home. So I went over to Henry Woodard's and applied for a job over there, and he gave me a job, and I worked there for I believe it was 14 till he had a heart attack and had to give up the store, and I worked there till he give up quit, you know. And when he sold the store, then I went to the wax museum. I worked at the wax museum until that went. I worked down there 11 years, and so I've worked hard. But anyway, I just do the best I can.
Do you remember, and you was a single mother with 2 children when you got the word of Pearl Harbor?
Yes, I remember. I remember Pearl Harbor. We heard that on the radio one Sunday morning, and Dean, you know who Uncle Dean, Aunt Ruby's husband, his sister had a son on that ship. We knew that Lehman Fathers, and well, his mother was Dean's sister, and his daddy was Mama's first cousin, and we knew him, and we knew that Lehman was on that ship, and it was for days that we didn't know what he was. You know, just very few that survived that, and Lehman was one of them. But a few days, we thought that we didn't know but he was killed. You know, when we heard it, we knew he was on that ship, and it was rough. But in a few days, we got word that he was one of the survivors, and then, but it was rough. But you have to take what comes to you. You have to bear. The Lord promised not to put any more on you, and then He gives you strength to bear. So and then I believe another question on there was about when President Kennedy. I remember that mighty well. I was working at Henry Woodard's, and Henry went out for something to the post office. Every evening he'd go to the post office and pick up the mail, and he went to pick up the mail, and he come back and told us that the president had been shot. I remember that mighty well.
How's this country changed? How's this country changed since you were a little girl?
Oh, well, some things.
You've seen a lot of changes.
Oh, a lot of changes, Some for better. I think maybe people loved one another more. You didn't hear of so many killings and this, that, and the other bad things. But maybe they happened, and we just didn't hear them. We didn't hear things like you do now. And but anyway, we always had plenty to eat. We didn't have any money. But Buster worked after we first married. He worked for 50 cents a day. Can you imagine that? But that 50 cents, you buy a loaf of bread for a dime. A loaf of bread was 10 cents. And you know, we growed stuff and put up for winter. Everybody had a root cellar for you. Kept your canned stuff and growed all kinds of stuff to eat, you know, and would store it in that cellar, and we had plenty to eat. We killed hogs and killed a beef after we got a freezer and a way to take care of it. Well, now we had a locker at here. After when I first moved to town, I had a locker, and we'd kill a beef off the farm and put it in that to keep it. But that before we had a way of keeping it. Jim McKinney lived in our neighborhood, and he used to about every other Saturday he'd kill a beef and just peddle it around, you know, around, and we'd buy beef. We had plenty to eat. We didn't get hungry, but we didn't have any money. When we bought the farm, we paid $3,000 for the first one and $3,000 for the last. I had 160 acres. Give it away to the girls. They divided it and they give them a deed to it. But anyway, but my greatest problem when I thought, how in the world will I ever make a living for them two little girls, one 13 years old and one 13 months. But I kept, and I don't know how I got back. It hadn't been for the farm. But I went down there. I'd go down there and work my rear end off. And yes, I cut thistles and sowed grass, and I've done it all. Some of them said, who told you where to cultivate? I said, did they just cultivate what they wanted to? I said, no, they didn't cultivate where they wanted. They cultivated where I told them to. And I run that farm. Now, Buster's brothers is awful good to me, and all the family. My Otis and Dean. I know me and the spring after Buster died, when I went to sow grass seed, Otis and Paul come, said they'd sow my grass seed. And I went down there and I said, well, I'll help sow these grass. Oh, you can't sow grass? I said, you think I can't? So I took one sower and Otis one and Paul one, and I went every round they did. And we sowed that field of grass. I worked, I've always worked. And I knew how, I knew what Buster, he'd always talk things over with me. And that way I knew more about farming, knew more about what to do and where to cultivate. And I tried to run the farm just like Buster did. And Buster was a good farmer. And I tried to do things like he did. And I made a lot of money on the farm. When I got to where I didn't give it to the girls, so I had saved up a good deal, and then when I got to where I could draw Social Security, I thought, well, I could live off of the Social Security and my interest, so I just give it to the girls, and but I'll still love that farm. I wish Peggy hadn't sold hers, but she did, and nothing I could do about it. I didn't give her a deed to it. So,
but to you, the farm was Uncle Buster.
Huh?
To you, the farm represented Uncle Buster. Uncle Buster's farm.
Yeah,
It was yours and
Buster we
Buster's.
had when Buster died. Yeah.
How old were you when he died?
35 years ago. 35 years ago. It's mighty young to go. But anyway, he had and he just died sudden. I never thought of such a thing as him dying. He had an abscess. He had a terrible headache and had headaches, and we went to Dr. Weldon. Dr. Weldon in Glasgow was our doctor, and A.B. went with us. We went, and when we got over there, when we got out of the car, Buster just started like he had a chill, just kind of shaking. And when we went up Dr. Weldon's office was upstairs. When we went up the steps, A.B. was on one, his brother went with us. He was on one side of him, and I was on the other side. And Buster said, you run on and see if you can get a place for me to lay down. I said, I've got to lay down. So when I went in the office, well, I run across to the girl at the desk, and I said, we brought Buster back, and he's got a chill. I said, is there somewhere he can lay down? And she said yes, and she come with me. And we went back there, and she let him lay down on a kind of a sofa-like. And I sat down by him, and he looked like I run down and I said, there's something wrong with Buster. Would you all come? And Dr. Weldon come with me. And he examined him. He said, oh, Ruth, you're just scared. Said, he's all right. Says his heart's good and his pulse is strong. Said, you're just scared. So they went on, and I sat down by Buster. And he looked at me and said, what's that nurse doing giving me so much medicine? I said, well, Buster, she hadn't given you a thing. And she hadn't. She hadn't given him a thing. And he said, I know she has. And then he kind of spit, and it come out on his chin. And I run back, and I said, Dr. Weldon, there's something terrible wrong with Buster. I said, would you all come? And he come with me again. And he saw then. Buster never did speak another word. He just, and he said, oh, we got to send him to the hospital. And I said, Buster hated Glasgow Hospital. He always told me, if you ever get sick, I'm going to take you to Louisville. And if I ever get sick, I want you to take me to Louisville. He said, we're going to have to take him to the hospital. And I said, we'll take him to Louisville. He said, we haven't got time. Something's got to be done at once. So we called the ambulance, and I went in the ambulance with him to Glasgow Hospital. And they got him in a room, and they tried to get me to go back to the waiting room. I said, no, I'm not leaving. I stayed at the door. And I think they saw that he was dying. And they all left out and let me go in. And I was in the room with him, just me and him when he died. He never did speak. He never did know I was there. He was gone. And it just happened just so sudden. When they called Mammy Slaughter, she knew it wasn't so. There's mistaken. And Perry said, now, Mammy, you know they wouldn't send you no such word if it wasn't so. And all of our friends come to see if it was so. Nobody believed it, and it just, we wasn't gone from home much over 2 hours till we was back with him, of course. But they brought him back home, and back then they kept at home, They didn't tear him to the funeral home like they do now. And Mr. Dixon was the undertaker. He had buried, all the family before that. So he come and fixed him there at home, and we had his body at home. And we had a dog that, Cherry we called him, a shepherd dog that was smart as a whip. And that dog knew just as well as something had happened. He would go off to the tobacco barn and howl. You can't believe it. He, just like he was crying, he'd howl, you could hear him all over the country. And that just broke my heart when that dog would howl like that. But I've got lots of memories. But the good Lord.
He was really good to you, wasn't he?
Huh?
He was really good to you, wasn't he?
Oh, there never was a better one in the world than Buster was. We worked together.